How do we stand out in an already busy market? The market was dominated by mostly a brokerage type of product. We found that there was a big challenge at the time of a reliable on-ramp, off-ramp experience with a reliable bank that you could work with. So we set about doing that, like priority number one. We need to do that, and we need to do that from day one in a very successful way.
Welcome to From the Frontlines Conversations with OKX Singapore. In this series, we speak with leaders shaping the future of digital assets in the world's most dynamic markets. I'm Gracie, CEO of OKX Singapore, and I'm your host for today. And today I'm very excited to have with me Rifad Mahasneh, CEO of Middle East and North Africa. Rifad, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Great to be here.
Singapore and Dubai have many similarities, and we're both in the process of building ourselves up to be a digital asset hub. Can you share a little bit about what has made Dubai so successful in getting to where it is today as a digital asset hub for the region?
I'll kind of highlight where I think Dubai and the UAE in general have been successful. I think three core areas, when combined, have created this exciting ecosystem that we're in. One, which is obviously regulation. Unlike many markets, we do have right now around 3 regulators that are looking at crypto and digital assets in the UAE. That shows you a level of commitment that the country has on regulating this space. But the second biggest thing about this is it's not that they just put out regulation and stopped. Regulation is continuously evolving as we go along. As you know, this industry is super fast moving. So in my opinion, you can't just put a regulation and wait another 2-3 years before you revise it. The space has just moved on 5 years ahead of you. So the beauty of it is there's continuous revision of regulations that are out. The second piece is the talent piece. So by having this regulation in place, you've attracted a lot of good talent. So when you want to set up a digital asset or crypto business in the UAE, it's much easier than it was 5 years ago. You've got people who are industry experienced from top tier firms, custodians or brokers. And when you look at other side of the business, operations and legal work and risk, you're actually now have a much bigger pool of talent than before. And lastly, location plays a part. UAE is quite central and quite small at the same time. And I see that similarity with Singapore as well. So within Dubai, Abu Dhabi, it's 100 kilometers away. You meet with, I would say, a lot of the most important people of this industry. And a lot of them moved to set up spaces there and operations there. So that brings in altogether a super vibrant ecosystem that now helps any, not just us, any new firm that comes into the market to set up. So when it came for OKX, I think it was a no-brainer. Because if you want to set up somewhere in that region, the UAE has created something special.
I want to dive into that a little bit more. Yeah. You talked about talent, you talked about coming to OKX. So I know your professional background is very interesting, very diverse, and your experience built up over the years has really, really got you to where you are today, running a very successful business out of OKX MENA. Can you share a little bit about your journey and how that brought you to where you are today?
Yeah. So I came in at least around 7-8 years ago, as I started in a completely different industry. A lot of what was nice in my time at Uber, and where I spent around 4 years, is it was such an innovative new industry that's coming in and introducing new innovation, but also coming to an understanding with the regulation at the market at the time. I find that there's a lot of similarity with crypto to that extent, where there's innovation, there's technology, and there's regulation that's trying to move and catch up. Now, when it came about to end my time at Uber, I started investing on my own, and this industry piqued my interest because of those similarities. So I wanted to be in this space. Right now, very glad with that decision that I made 4 years ago to jump into this industry. But what also appealed about what OKX was offering is we're essentially starting something new out of the UAE. Similar to you in Singapore, you're building from scratch, we're building local, we're building to the market that we're operating in. So it was a nice challenge and loving it so far.
And lucky us that you've joined us because you've done really, really well in building up the business. Can you share a little bit about what factors have contributed to your success and what client segments are the most interesting for you in your market?
We looked at the market before we even launched and we said, look, how do we stand out in an already busy market? A lot of the UAE retail users and institutional users are very sophisticated. They have exposure to other platforms. They've seen what products our competitors have. So when it came about us launching, we want to differentiate ourselves, and we want to differentiate ourselves locally. And in the UAE, we found that there was a big challenge at the time of a reliable on-ramp, off-ramp experience with a reliable bank that you could work with. So we set about doing that. Like priority number one, we need to do that, and we need to do that from day one in a very successful way. The second piece is when we looked at the market was dominated by mostly a brokerage type of product, right? There wasn't true exchange where Gracie would transact with Rifad. It was Gracie transacting with a broker who essentially is buying that liquidity from somewhere outside of the UAE. So combine these two, we have reliable banking rails and setting up an exchange. We found out that we could be the leader when it comes to local currency pairs versus crypto pairs. So that's where we set about as a strategy, and so far it's been paying off very, very well because we wanted to focus small but on the more rewarding aspects of our business that we can be very competitive with. And I'm glad we made that decision because right now we do have a very great product market fit in the UAE, and we're only scaling that business going forward. So it's good to see that what we set up to do has paid off, and now we just want to scale that further and innovate further beyond those three core areas that we set out to do.
I think the rest of us CEOs across markets have a lot to learn from you. What are you most excited about when you think about the next 12 months?
Innovation is something that is fast in this space, right? When we set up, we were just looking at basic things, on-ramping and providing exchange. Now we're looking at new products that are coming in. We're looking at the increase of stablecoin adoption that's happening, the increase of payment integration within the crypto space as well. I think over the next 12 months, the focus is going to be like, how do we add additional value add services where we make our platform more usable for users, right? And this is something that I feel that's happening a lot. This industry has always started as a retail industry, and then a lot of that focus has been heavy on trading. Today, this is shifting towards more of wealth generation or wealth preservation, where our people are your traders, but people are entering the space for different reasons, right? More for a stable staking income or a stable yield generation. So I think we now have to cater for all aspects of our retail clients. But I'm also interested heavily, and we've seen that demand coming up. How do we get traditional TradFi businesses off the bench and into the space? And the way we set up about it is like set up the best regulated entity that you can with the best guardrails and controls and the best compliance team, because we know these firms are going to look at different things than retail clients. They would want to ask us questions about our operations. How do we deal with custody? How do we deal with transactions? What are our fees? So we set up now to try to attract a lot of those firms that were on the sidelines. And I can gladly say that we've been so far succeeding in convincing a lot to onboard on our platform and invest more.
You shared a lot about your market, how you see it, and how it's evolving. If there's one thing that you think the world misunderstands about your market and the digital asset industry in particular, what would that be?
I think there is a lot of conviction from a lot of our potential users out there that this industry is all about trading. We know it's so much more, right? But it's on us now to provide those learning opportunities to explain that we have moved on from just the trading industry. So much more that you could do. And not just on the centralized exchange part, but on the Web3 part, on the payment side. I think what users don't know is a lot of the services, especially on the financial side, are going to be powered by this industry without them knowing, right? Your next coffee transaction could be powered at the back end by a stablecoin movement, right? So it's on us now to increase awareness and just explain that trading is what started this. So we look forward actually now to provide and create more content like this, where we can explain to our users and potential users that this is an exciting space to be. This is more than just trading, and you have a lot of options to go in and explore. But you also have a lot of resources to learn. So don't just jump in.
Yep.
Take your time, learn about the industry, focus on what you want to do. What is your use case out of this space, right? You want to store value. You want to generate some stable returns. You want to trade. We've got a solution for all of you, right? For all of these use cases. So I think, now it's on us just to get that message out there more.
And that's a very big responsibility. And I'm glad you are leading the charge in your region.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of the job. And it's also bigger than the job as well, right? We are essentially ambassadors in every time that we speak, not just about OKX, because we're also passionate about the industry we operate in. And I think that's very rare for an industry to say you're an ambassador of, right? But I think a lot of us here are very passionate about the space, and we carry that passion in every interaction that we do. So it's on us to continue to educate and share our experiences and our stories of this exciting space.
Well, that's a very inspiring way to end this conversation. And with that, thank you so much, Rifad, for joining us today. And I look forward to working with you to continuing to build the future of the digital asset industry.
Well, thank you for having me. I think this is a great chat. I'm always happy to do so. And next time we'll do one in Dubai with you in it.
Happy to, anytime. To our listeners, thank you for tuning in to From the Frontlines Conversations with OKX Singapore.
Stay tuned for more conversations with the people shaping this industry and shaping the future of finance, specifically in Singapore and beyond.
Thank you, Rifad.